Okay. Hello?
All good.
Okay, cool, man. Dude, man, listen to the CD, Harmful Swallows, freaking hilarious as hell.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
What?
definitely, man. Awesome stuff. All new, pretty much new material on there, man. You know, nothing from the specials or anything, right?
Uh, there's a couple of things that are going to be included. You know, we're re-releasing it July 22nd.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, through Comedy Central Records. And what we've basically done is I re-edited the master. I added some bonus material, and there's going to be a second disc, and that DVD has a few of my performances from Comedy Central, and those are all going to be the unedited versions that they,
Oh,
in their
awesome.
entirety.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm psyched, man. It was that half-hour comedy special pretty much put me on the map as far as helping build that fan base.
Yeah, right on, man. Freaking, that was awesome. The Comedy Central special you did, man.
Yeah, that's the one, dude. After that, things just really started picking up. So I'm psyched to finally release the full hour as opposed to just the 22 minutes that were on air.
Right on, man. And now, where was this the disc recorded? Like, was it at a
The
club?
comedy CD was in Houston, Texas,
Oh, cool.
at a great club called the Laugh Stop, LAFF.
Oh, okay, cool.
And yeah, it's just one of those rooms. It's a really tight, it's only like 300 seats, but they're right on top of you,
Cool.
and they give it up, as they say.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, it sounded like an awesome audience. You kicked ass on the CD. It was just freaking a solid vibe on there, man. It was awesome.
It's really I'm one of those people who I can't over analyze or listen to what I've done over and over. As a comic, you kind of want to add things or.
Yeah,
But I'm
right.
so proud of how that came out, and a lot of that CD is really kind of captured, I guess, an essence of what my show is about, which is very, a lot of improv, definitely a lot of energy, some crowd participation. It just kind of got a little of everything. So that's like my baby right there.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. You did a great job kind of freestyling with the pregnant lady and everything. I know. Kicked ass, man.
Thanks a lot, Don.
Now, the first time I ever seen you perform was when I think was, if I have this right, Cosby was guest hosting the Late Show with Letterman.
Yes.
And you were on there, and Cosby really said a lot of really nice things about you in the introduction. And then you came out and you freaking killed with the bit with the. I think there was this is off the top of my head. There was a Sports Illustrated model there, and she had a snake on her, and you used that and went right into your routine about being a snake and all that
Yep.
shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Freaking killed, man. And from then on, man, I was like a fan of yours and following you, and it's good to see so much success that happened to you since then, man. Freaking, hot as hell right now.
Yeah, what's really cool about that is, like, I look at that performance now. I mean, when I was in junior high school, Cosby was, I mean, he had a huge impact on me wanting to be a comic because at the time he had that special himself.
Oh yeah, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, which everybody quoted when we were younger, and it was just Bill Cosby to me at that time in my life was just like, he spoke to me. His comedy, his delivery, his confidence, poise, the whole package. So when they finally called me from the producers of Letterman and said, Dave's out sick, and will you do us a solid and come in here and do some time? And I said, yeah, of course. Who's the host? When they said it was Cosby, I mean, I don't think there could have been a better name that could have come out of their mouth. I got to the studio that day, and I'd done it with David before, David Letterman.
Right.
And I was nervous like any new comic, but to finally meet Cosby was equally as exciting and intimidating.
Yeah.
So I got to get there before the show, and then I got a message saying, oh, Bill would love to talk to you. And he came up to my dressing room and he sat with me for about a half hour.
Wow.
We just sat together and he talked, we talked comedy, and he just had so many positive things to say, man. And he was he was just so cool about, just some of his knowledge and kind of passing what he's learned down to me, and he was just, oh man, that was like a high point in my career right there.
Hell yeah, you like talk to one of the masters, you know what I mean? Like one of the senseis of
Yeah, I could
comedy.
sit with this guy for a half hour, and it truly was. It was like sitting there, and I wanted to record it. It was like, oh, just let me, remember every single thing this guy is.
Exactly. Exactly. That's awesome, man. What an incredible experience. I mean, to have actually had that time with one of your heroes in comedy, and also then to go and be performing on national television all in the same night, man.
Yeah, total dream come true right there.
And you kicked ass that night, man. That was a great set.
It could have been two, people in the crowd, and one of them could have been, half dead. I was so pumped just to be there with, Cosby and the whole deal that, I think I could have performed in front of anybody at that point. It was too exciting.
Yeah, right on, man. Now, how long have you're from Boston, right? How long have you been in stand up, and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I started in sketch comedy like right around 91, and I ended up doing, sketch improv for about 3.5 years with a good buddy of mine, Robert Kelly.
Oh yeah, Robert Kelly, good fun guy.
Robert's out of New York, and we started together.
Cool.
Doing stand up, doing sketch, and we put this group Al and the Monkeys together.
Cool.
And we used to travel around all over, basically New England, do these shows, and just I really, I think that's where I really learned to respect and want to incorporate improv into my act, because it was like the feeling you get when you go see a band and you feel like the show is for you.
Right.
It's like, all right, he's not just doing the set list.
Right.
Something really real is happening in a connection with the crowd. I think that if you can harness improv and you're good at it, it's so great to be able to have that as a part of your show, because the crowd really does, when they leave, feel like it was a one-time show for them.
Exactly, and it pretty much is, because, like you said, every audience is different, and you vibe off it differently, and like you said, when you do that kind of improv, it definitely gives a more of a personal touch to it all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's cool, man, and that also comes across on the new CD. Now, on the CD, man, the thing with your stand-up is it's edgy, it's raw, and wholesome at the same time, man. You tackle everything from like board games to oral sex on this thing, giving the finger and everything. The speak and spell shit had me dying, bro. Dude, I was belly laughing here, man. Listening to this all by myself in here, belly laughing to speak and spell. What inspires you as far as comedy? Like, are the comedy lights always on? Are you always looking for the funny side of things?
You know what? I'm sure you could ask 50 different comics, how do they do it? How do they write? How do they come up with it? And, I know guys, great comics who, sit down from 4 to 6 every day and work on their bits and this and that. And
right.
It's just not the way I do it, man. It's like the minute I put the pen to paper, it's almost like, when it comes to comedy, at least, that's like poison. With me, I need to write it on stage.
Right.
Yeah, I need to, take a bit, which, for me, things just kind of come at me at all points during the day. If I think about, I want to do something about how people are, immature, I'll come up with a few ideas in my head, and I just need to take it straight to the stage. Go up there, work it out, bang it out, improv with it, and when I come off, if I've tried 10 things and, 2 of them stuck and, 4 of them are just, kind of watered down, but then you get a couple that are solid, then suddenly I'm off to the races, and you just kind of build off that.
Oh, cool. So you sometimes just go out when you're working on material, you just go hit the stage with just the premise and just work it as you go?
All premises. Yeah.
Wow,
I'll go up on stage with, 5 new premises and say, okay, I'm doing a thing about, immaturity. I'm doing another thing about nightmares. I'm doing another thing about, video games.
Right.
And I'll just keep taking those 5 bits all week long, working over. and then finally they just kind of write themselves. They just kind of you know when it's finished, you sense it. You know, you get that laugh, and you know, you just I've started bits years ago and then dropped them, and then 3 years later, all of a sudden it just comes out on stage with a punchline attached.
Right, right. All of a sudden, it's evolved. It's that time to like simmer in your mind, I guess, and then
Yeah,
it comes out.
you let it kind of just marinate in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, comes out.
That's awesome, man. Like some of the premises that you do come up with are freaking like, where's he, like, you know, like, damn, like I wish I thought of that. Like, you know, you get a lot of comics at that. It's like, shit, I wish I thought of that. You know, like even simple things like the BK Lounge, and then you're talking about your brother, and you're like, he thought he was the Burger King. You know, shit, the actual Burger King.
Totally true. I remember back when I first got that job and working with my brother Daryl at the Burger King, and you know we used to call it the BK Lounge. That was the name for it in my house. Oh, I got to work at the BK Lounge. And I love my brother, but he wasn't exactly the easiest guy to work for. So you know, when you talk about things that come out of real situations, you know, with me, I mean, I kind of I'll go all over the place. There's some stuff that's kind of wild and over the top, and
Right, right.
then there's some things that you can ask me about that it's like, yeah, speaking Svelte to me I was always aggravated that it didn't sound human. It sounded like some kind of, you know, demonic robot.
Right, right, right.
And you know, here it is all these years later. It's like that's the thing that, you know, a lot of people go, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
You know, you want to find those things that, you know, people can latch onto. And at the same time, it's really funny because one thing I've learned just about the technique of comedy, and one thing that you know, a lot of people say, oh, how many years does it take to, you know, become a good stand-up comic? And a lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, it takes, you know, 7 years,
Right, right,
to
right.
really get your voice. And I remember for, you know, the first 5 years of my career not necessarily knowing if that was true, because I at the time kind of thought, oh, I'm doing well and I'm getting laughs. And but yeah, then in around like, you know, 6 7 years, I started, you know, kind of realizing there's two schools of thought with comedy. There's comics that sit and go, what will make them laugh?
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
what's going to make the crowd laugh? And then I think you're starting to get to your real voice when you stop doing that. You can say, I mean, you're getting to your voice, or you're getting to your, you know, true confidence and sense of humor when you can say, no, what makes me laugh? And instead of me going to them, how can I bring them to me?
Right on, man.
And those are the comics that I you know, can watch now, and I go, that's when they turned a corner. I could watch a comic, you know, 4 or 5 years ago that I came up with, you know, whoever, like a Patrice O'Neill or one of those guys, and say, okay, it used to be about like, oh, I thought of a funny little thing, a few funny things, and yeah, it'll get laughs, and you know, not saying it's a novelty laugh, but you can get laughs off those. But when you're not forcing it down their throat, and you're saying, just come here, listen to what I'm saying. I
Right.
think that if you have 100 people in the room, even if 80 think you're great, well, the other 20 may not get your sense of humor, but they will be able to look at me or look at one of those guys and go, he's in it. I respect at least the fact that he's committed to what he wants to say.
Right,
He's
right,
not
right.
trying to shine us on. He's not trying to win everybody in the room over and be everybody's you know, buddy.
Right, right.
He's just, you know, fucking doing his thing, his way, playing his song. And if you're into it, cool. And if you're not, you know, at least you can look at it and go, all right, you know, yeah, he's in his zone, and you got to respect that. And those are the comics I think that are, you know, that are the most exciting for me to watch.
Right on. That's true. And like you said, to be able to bring an audience to you instead of you going to them, that's what it's all about, man.
It's not, and it's hard, you know, because we all have. Look, everybody's got hacky, corny, you know, cheesy stuff, but you know, we all have those jokes where it's like, you know, as it's coming out of your mouth, you're like, okay, this is, you know, I always have this saying around the club you know, sometimes when there's a comic or something really lame that they're laughing at,
Right.
and I'll turn to one of my buddies, and the crowd will be really laughing at this, crap, so, this whatever this person is spewing out.
Right.
And I just turn and I'll always go, remember what I'm going to say to you right now. America loves hack. And I go, it's like there's always that real simple, people like something that they can remember really easy, and the next day go, oh yeah, and then he said, blah, blah, blah. It's like America sometimes loves that simple, like corny joke.
The hacky shit, right?
Yeah, if you give them a little bit of, everything, I think, up there. But, it's certainly, it's certainly great to mix it up. And, I have one of the corniest punchlines that, I have a joke about this lady who's, gets hit in the face by the tire.
Right.
And it's funny because, bits always change and evolve, and I'm not even sure if this punchline's on there, but, I say, the lady gets hit by the tire, and you don't want to go to that person's wake because you don't want to make that really corny joke. I guess it wasn't a good year for Mary.
Right. Right.
And it's like, I do the joke, it gets a great laugh, I love the joke, but, that if that isn't one of the simplest kind of, anybody can swallow that. Anybody can see that and go, oh, that came at me a mile away.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to laugh at it.
Right.
But, lovingly, I always say America loves hack, because there's always going to be that joke or that guy that they put on the map that you go, how the fuck did he get there?
Yeah, right.
Because he's saying something to connect with people, or, he's got a certain...
Yeah, it's the same thing with like music too. Like there's always the bands that just they're not breaking any ground, and they're the ones that are in the limelight. And
totally hacky.
Yeah, and they're the stars, and it makes you.
Yeah, every boy band, for a while sounded the same, and now it's like they've got all these punk pop bands, and all of them sound like this.
Right, it's true.
My mom left me alone, and they all, it's like they just it was like for a while everybody sounded like Korn.
Yeah, right.
Everybody, and
yeah, right.
like people do, they latch onto one kind of thing, but
and it's got to be frustrating, like for the real artists or for the real stand-ups, that when you see these kind of hackier acts, like you said, becoming breaking out, not breaking ground, but breaking out into the media. People, like you said, America loves hack, and that's freaking hilarious, man.
It's at the end of the day, though, you gotta, it's like you have to wonder, those people, whether it's music, comedy, whatever, they've got to be laying in bed at night going, what am I contributing? What am I doing?
Right, exactly.
What really, a few years ago, somebody said, what are you contributing, Dane? What are you doing up on stage? I said, look, when I was coming up, I loved, Pryor, Eddie Murphy.
Right.
I loved Louis Anderson. I loved, I love a lot of physical comedy, old Jerry Lewis stuff.
Right.
I said, with me, I go, look, I'm not trying to be, like a Chris Rock, or I'm certainly not up there, trying to change minds or, talk politics, whatever. My job, or my feeling is that we all have this, everybody, no matter how old you are, has this escapism mentality sometimes in your brain, this, this imagination that I love to tap into. And I love when people come up and go, you know what? You say things sometimes that people think but don't necessarily say.
Right.
And that may seem like kind of a simple, a simple explanation, but some of my favorite songs are just 4 chords.
Right on.
Some of the best songs that you've ever heard are just 4 chords, and you're bopping your head to it. You're totally into it, and I'm there for just to have a good time and to give people a good time, and I guess it's a simple equation, but it works for me, and I love what I do. It's there's nothing else in the entire world that I could say that I'd rather do, or rather put the effort or the blood, sweat, tears, and years into. I mean, this is I'm a stand-up comic. And when people say, "What do you do?" and I say, "I'm a stand-up comedian," I don't say I'm an actor.
Right.
stand-up comic, and when that rolls off my tongue, it's like I get excited.
Yeah, right. It must be a great feeling first time you put that on like your tax returns. Occupation stand-up comic.
It was. I'll tell you when it was good. It was good the first time I actually had enough money to go get like go to the dentist, or it took a lot of years before it was like dental or anything.
Yeah, right.
Like
Yeah, you don't get an insurance plan, right?
Christ, man, those first like 6 years were like I had a fucking ingrown toenail. I had a really bad tooth. I had like 3 or 4 ailments that I was just okay. Any minute now, I'm gonna get the insurance. Any minute.
Right.
I finally got insurance through a TV thing that I did. It was like I went right to the doctor the next day. I'm like, tooth, foot. What do you do? I'm a stand-up comic. Nothing funny about this, but
Right. That's awesome. And now, when you put material like this, when you do like a Comedy Central special, or when you do a CD like Harmful Swallowed, what happens to that material after it's been like recorded and publicized? Do you continue to do it live, or do you just leave it behind and start new? Like, what happens now with the material?
Yeah, that's. I mean, there's always going to be material that when you see a comic, you'll be like, oh, that's familiar. I know that. I like that.
Right.
I think that with me, it's like there's going to be some bits on there that I'll never do again. Some things that I did just for the CD or that night. And then there'll be bits that you'll do for years, and
Right.
hopefully they'll grow and change, and I'll add things to bits, and I'll just kind of update. I always kind of continue to tweak them and serve them up, but yeah, there's things that go that are only timely for that year or what have you, and or maybe it's just not funny anymore. There's certain bits that you do that will kill when they first come out, and then a year later you're like, I'm doing it the same way. It's not like it was topical, and yet there's just something that just goes flat, and you're like, it's done. It's seen its prime. That joke is no more, and you just retire it. You're just like, you don't know why. You ask any comic, why does a joke work? Sometimes,
and then all of a sudden,
just really just fucking flop, and you're like, I'm putting the energy into it. I think maybe it's something subconscious. Maybe it's something deeper where you're like, I really am not into this anymore, and therefore some vibe you give off just lets the crowd in on the idea that, you know what, well, I'm talking shit right now.
Right.
I'm really not. This isn't what I want to be saying, and I'm just kind of filling time. So, yeah, bits are they come, they go. They're
But you had some really great stuff that's like really memorable, like just off the top of my head, like the G-Hits.
right.
the thing with we wanted to have Venom and all that stuff. I want that, all that stuff. That was classic stuff. You still do that stuff, like when people catch you live? Can they still see some of the classics?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing is when you finally put out a CD. And I never really, equated this, but it's like, when you're a band, you want to play the songs that people know.
Oh, right,
You
yeah.
also want to get the new stuff out so people, grow to like that. And it's a strange line because, I'm doing shows now where, sometimes I'll do an hour and 15 minutes because, instead of just 45, because I'm going, okay, I want to give these people what they love to hear on the CD and what they, what made them fans. And, you want to give them that, but then it's like, okay, but let me give them some of the new thoughts that I've been thinking about. And,
Right.
There's not enough time up there. It's like you want to be able to kind of give everybody, a little bit of what they enjoy, but always, first and foremost, what I said before, it's like you don't want to just cater to what they want. It's like you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to, you don't want to go to them. You want to bring them to you. So it's strange because you can't neglect the fact that there's things people want to hear.
Right.
And you can't just be like, I'm sick of doing all that. So let me just shove, an hour's worth of new stuff down their throat. And then they leave going, yeah, it was funny, but oh, I wish I heard this.
Right.
So Yeah, so if I do a weekend of shows, like for example, I just came back from Houston. I will not write down a set. I won't pre-plan and say I'm going to do, the Christchurch church stuff, or
Right,
I'm
right,
going
right.
to do, the BK Lounge or whatever. But I will, tell people when they come up after a show, oh, why did you do this? And I'll say, I did that, Friday for a show, and I did that Saturday for a show. It just, if it comes out, it comes out.
Right, right, right.
If it's meant to be a part of the show, it'll come out. But I certainly keep an open mind to, want to, do some of the things that that made people drive, pay tickets, sit down and hope that, oh, I hope he does that bit.
Right, right, right.
I mean, you do. You try to mix it all up.
So you have no set list when you go on.
No, never a set list.
Wow, that's freaking incredible, man.
Mm.
You know
No
that.
set list. Just I usually, as the feature comic is doing his act, I'll kind of you know get focused somewhere and say, all right, what do I want to start with? Well, how do I want to open up?
Right, right, right.
Usually I'll think of something that doesn't necessarily have to be a bit, but just something to say to the crowd that kind of breaks it open. So
Cool. Feel like you just like feel the room out and then figure it out. Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta listen to the guy before you, and then once I tap him with that first one, I get the response, and my brain just kind of tells me, all right, you should do this next, or do that next.
Cool. Now, your career is super hot right now, man. You've been like, as far as television, you've been like featured on Crank Yankers, Tough Crowd, Colin Quinn. I saw you on that. You did well. Comedy Central, and now you also made the transition into the movies. Was acting always one of the goals that you had?
Yeah, I always loved doing theater and acting and stuff like that. But I guess I kind of thought, okay, I thought it was two things. I thought, all right, there'll be stand-up comedy, and then aside from that, I'll audition, I'll go in, I'll read for stuff, I'll do films myself, I'll produce films, I'll direct films.
Right,
And I
right.
really thought it would be two separate entities, but what kind of has happened that I guess I didn't think of back when I was coming up was that there's going to be people in the industry who do create, who do write, direct, produce, act, that will become fans, or see your comedy and think, wow, I like this guy, I need a guy like that. I never really kind of thought stand-up comedy would be the key.
Right,
I
right,
just
right.
thought it would be another source of entertainment.
Right.
But by doing stand up and kind of getting better and being good at it, and building on it, people take notice, and next thing you know, it's I'm doing a couple of films here and there, and then you get good word of mouth, and so the stand up once again really reached out and grabbed some cool stuff for me.
Yeah, that's like the main root of the whole thing is the stand up route that you got, and your ability, your energy, and your ability to be funny and spontaneous, and is all paid off, man.
I heard a great quote from a friend of mine, who had he's friends with David Brenner, so it's a friend of a friend. But he said that one thing that David Brenner said was, if you're good to your comedy, it'll it'll uh, it'll be good to you your whole career. If you respect your comedy and you work on it and you treat it, treat it well, then it'll always provide for you.
Oh,
And meaning you could always make a living or always make a few bucks somewhere going into a room and entertaining people if you keep your tools sharp.
right, right,
And it is very much true, because if you're playing your A game, and people people in other areas of entertainment see that, then they will come forward and say, look, I want to work with people who you know bring it. I want to work with people who don't mail it in, and are working and constantly you know trying to better their craft. So I've been man, it's like I think about it, I'm just like, wow, it's exciting. It's lucky, because I love doing the stand up, and then yeah, now the stand up has let me do a few films this year, and
yeah, man.
um Yeah, it's good. It's just great. It's a charmed life.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Now, you got a lot, like you said, a lot of movies coming up now. But I want to talk about for a second the Simon Says with Rodman.
Yeah.
How was that? How'd you get that gig, and how was it working with Rodman? And just tell me about that experience a little bit.
Yeah, it was, geez, man, it was weird. I'll never forget my agent called me up and said, Dane, you've just been offered the co-starring role in action comedy.
Right.
And I was in my apartment. I remember, I'll never forget that I was playing video games. I was sitting, I was like in my underwear on a hot day in LA going, all right, what am I doing now? What's the next, step in my career?
Right.
Here, all of a sudden I get this call. So I'm pumped. I'm like, what? You're kidding me. No, the producers, worked on a few action movies and da da da. And yet, still, my agent seemed a little bit laid back, and it was my first real big thing. And
Right. Right.
so I'm like, well, what is it? Well, you're going to be going over to France. You'll live in Nice, south of France. It's gorgeous. You'll be over there for a couple of months. I'm like, yes. I'm really building this up. I'm like, well, who is it? Who's it with? And he's like, Dennis Rodman. And I just remember I stopped. I just totally stopped in my tracks. And I think the first thing I said was, ugh. I go, what? And he was like, yeah, Dennis Rodman, they want to do this action comedy with him and blah, blah, blah. And I go, look, man, you know, look at the history of any sports guy who tries to act.
Yeah. Right.
I go, this is bad, man. And I go, I'll tell you right now, this guy is just, Rodman. It's a trend.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
mean, it's totally a trend with the tats and the hair. I go, that can't last. It can't last. I said this might be bad. And then I said, well, what is the script? And he told me the idea, and he sent me over the script. And it was like one of those things where you're reading it and you're just going, this is bad. Yeah, this is not going to be, this is not going to be an easy mission.
Right. Right.
But I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've never done a film before. I've never been a co-starring, guy.
Right. Right.
I said to myself, you know what? Nobody's going to take this thing seriously. I'll go to France. I've never been out of the country. I'm like, I'll live on the Mediterranean for 2 months. I'll be able to go to Italy. I'll be able to go all these places. I go over there, dude, and it's like, I'd be on set. I'm having the greatest time over there.
Right. Right.
We had a blast.
Yeah, it's like like you said, you got to leave the country. You're making a movie.
We're making I'm having a great time making a bad movie. I mean, it's like to say that it was like I'm at a high point in my life as far as like look at where comedy took me.
Right. Right.
But I am in a bad movie. And it was like situations where the producers would come to me and say, this scene, like I'd be, ready to do a scene, and they'd be like, make something up. Just do something here. It's like, make something. Yeah, they want me to write something in. I'll write something in here. And it was just,
Oh man.
I mean, and then it came out, and at the time when we made it, he was hot. And then like the year later when it finally came out, he was not, and it was like everyone hated him after the whole Laker thing. And
Yeah. Right.
So that was tough, man. It was like, to do something. It didn't even really. I think it came out like in a few theaters, but it just it got bashed, and it was like all these people saying all this shit. But I was laughing. I was actually reading stuff laughing, and I'm like, I can't believe critics are actually reviewing this with any iota of seriousness in their tone.
Right. Right. Right.
This film is shot like they just threw cameras together, and we did. The script is subpar. It's like we're talking Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Right.
Sean Connery, and I mean, we got slammed. I mean, it got bashed. I got bashed. Every part about it got bashed, and it was funny because it really did show me, okay, that's the great thing again about my stand-up. I can, it's all on me.
Right.
I can go up there, write, produce, direct, blah blah blah. But the one thing I'll say about about Simon Says, two things. First of all, no sequel. And second of all, when people are like, you know, why did you do that movie or whatever, I just say, look, it could only get better from there.
And it has.
It can only get better from there, man. That's like my Leprechaun. Everybody's got that one bad movie.
Right.
You go, what was that? Hopefully that will be one of only a few crappy movies that I participate in.
Yeah, like me and my friends, we seen the movie on cable, and the only reason we actually watched it wasn't for Robin, it was for you. So that gives you some, some insight as to who's what nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly watch it and it just be like, you know what, I'm having a good time. You can kind of see, but there's no. I mean, it's like if anybody goes, it didn't seem like your acting was. It's like there's no acting there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like show up, goof off. I'm the fucking funny sidekick,
right.
In the head. Yeah, it's like, what do you want?
Like I said, the critics took it a little too serious, I guess.
Oh, it cracks me up. It's like the fact that they would review it the way that they did, and a lot of them were so horrified and venomous about it that it was like, it made me laugh going, wow, you actually had to sit through this and your job was to, find the problems with it and find the holes in it. It's like, do you realize what you're watching?
Oh, that's great, man.
Oh, shit.
But now your acting career really went way better since then. Now you're in the movie coming out, Stuck on You, with Matt Damon and Craig Kinnear.
Yeah, I got a nice little cameo in that. I know those Bobby and Peter Farley. I've done a lot of benefit work with Comics Come Home and Dennis Leary over the years.
Cool, man. And that movie looks hilarious. I saw the trailer for it, man.
Oh yeah, I caught something recently at the theater too, and I mean it's great. It's a great little role. It's a great scene. I'm in the scene with Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear. I play a police officer that pulls them over for drunk driving.
Oh,
so yeah, I was just like to be in a cameo in one of their movies.
And how was
talking about actually doing something else together? I just talked to those guys, and they have another film coming up, and I think I'm going to do a more substantial role in their next film as well.
Yeah, you'd be perfect in one of their films, man. Definitely. Now, you also went to China and shot the movie The Touch.
Yeah, I went over to China. I guess we did that at the end of last winter. Last year, we did the year before. What are we in now? We're July, so not this last September through November. Before that.
2000.
Went over to China for like four months, and did this movie with Michelle Yeoh and the guys from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and I kind of came out of nowhere too. I actually once again was just doing stand up and kind of living my life, and I had done a short film called Spiral, which was this this like dark, kind of different, something a little different from the comedy.
And you won the Best Actor Pixie for that too.
Yeah, we won won Pixie Awards, and we won a few honors at film festivals. And again, it was just kind of like a little labor of love thing, but it ended up floating around, and it floated all the way to China, where somehow it ended up in the offices of Michelle Yeoh and Peter Pao.
Wow, man.
And they called me, and it was weird. Once again, I think the greatest moments of my life happen when I'm sitting in my underwear. I'm just, I was sitting around watching TV, eating, and phone rings, and next thing you know, I'm being offered, there's this role, and
And the first question is, no Dennis Rodman, right?
No, I'm like, yeah, is Dennis anywhere? Is there any basketball? Is Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen.
So yeah, I flew over there and bang, did this Miramax film called The Touch, and
is it he says a Hidden Dragon? Is it a Chinese spoken movie, or is it?
No, it's actually in English, but it's mainly Asian cast, and and whatnot. I think I'm like the only American
Really?
in there.
Is it a comedy or is it like more of a drama?
It's actually kind of like, in the sense of like, say, Crouching Tiger was all action and a little bit more serious. This is a little more in the vein of, I'm not comparing it, but I'm saying like Indiana Jones, the way it's kind of action but fun. And,
Right. Okay, cool.
family movie, definitely much lighter than Crouching Tiger.
They must have really liked you and Spiral for you to be not only the only American, but to really fly all the way out to China and everything. That says a lot, man.
Yeah, I think that I got lucky. They saw the film, they saw the short, and then they heard that I could do stand up, and they said, we've got this role of a villain, but a comedic villain. So we need you to be a little dark, but funny.
That's
And
awesome.
I think that what they saw kind of combined those, and so that was another just high point of my career, going over there, being a part of that production and the movie. It came out great. It actually it's funny because it's been released internationally. It's actually had premieres, and it's been out everywhere except here. And I think now they're talking about a spring release, having a Miramax distributing it in theaters this spring. But you can actually see it if you can go to any import shop like DVD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
cool.
have it.
Oh shit! All
Yeah,
right, cool.
somebody gave it to me recently. Was like, "Oh, here's your movie," and I hadn't even seen it.
Oh, that's cool, man. Definitely gonna go check that out. I'm gonna make that a note to go do that.
Yeah. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now, also, there's another movie, Torque. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Torque is a Warner Brothers movie with Ice Cube, and kind of in the vein of like a Fast and the Furious, but with motorcycles.
Oh, cool. And what do you play in this?
I play a character. His name's Neil Luff, Luff. And Neil is like because a lot of the guys in this are hardcore biker types, real tats and
Right.
badass, gangs. I play one of those weekend warrior types. I've got a few scenes where I kind of come in, and you can tell my character is like a poser.
Right.
Poser, oh, I just bought the bike, and I ride it on weekends, but I'm not a real
Right.
life. I don't really wear leather.
Right.
And so, my character kind of encounters these gang members on a few occasions, and you can kind of see that I'm this cocky, arrogant poser type.
That's gonna be awesome.
Keeps crossing these biker guys and just getting myself in more and more trouble. Kind of talking down to them and treating them like trailer trash. Let's just say that they don't treat me very nice.
And Ice Cube directed it?
No, Ice Cube is starring in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Joseph Kahn directed it.
Oh, all right, awesome, man. And that's also due out this summer?
I think they're talking about that for. Everything's pretty much slated for December, January.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, they get let's see, Stuck on You is December, Torque is January, The Touch is spring.
Wow, man. So you're gonna be like all over the movie screens next year.
I'm really just gonna I'm just gonna continue to do what I was doing, man, which is like chipping away. If I get cameos here and there, if I can work with cool people,
right.
Then it's just about, if it's a great role, I don't care how big or small it is, I'll do that, and yet, where you'll find me every night at a club somewhere in this country.
That's awesome, man. It definitely, like you said, you consider yourself a stand-up comic, and to stick to that is, that's freaking awesome. It says a lot.
First and foremost, man. That's
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like breakfast, lunch, dinner, stand-up. That's
cool.
The 4 meals of my day.
Awesome, man. Now, are you trying to be like or not trying to be like them, or trying to follow the same kind of path as like Steve Martin or Robin Williams, who have who are known for their energized, outrageous stand-up, and then have also crossed over into dramatic roles?
Well, I mean, I think that as far as a stand-up in general, I definitely I appreciate those guys so much, and have studied those guys and watched them since I was young.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, again, I think that have even just a comedy career like either of those guys would be would be fantastic. So that's the thing where the fans decide. You continue to hopefully deliver good material, and they'll continue to come out. So as far as that goes, but to branch off and go into film and things of that nature is really appealing to me.
Right.
And, I just wrote and directed a short film.
8 Guys?
Yeah, 8 Guys.
Yeah, man.
It's a comedy. It's a 20-minute straight comedy, but came out really fantastic. I cast 7 other stand-up comedians to play. The other 7 of the 8 Guys.
Yeah, your boy Robert Kelly was in it, right?
Robert Kelly, man, he's just he's one of my favorite up-and-coming guys, and
Yeah,
my
he's
best buddy.
Yeah, that's cool. He's funny, and you take him with you on the road a lot, and you guys tour together.
Yeah, yeah. If I can hook a brother up and and we can hang and make some cash and do some gigs and that's just that makes it all even easier.
And you got John DeResta, New York cop, funny.
DeResta, man, yep, great guy. He's got his own show coming on, I guess, Trash to Cash on FX.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so through a lot of guys. There's a few guys from LA. This guy Wayne Previty that I started with in Boston from Peabody, Mass.
Oh, cool.
So I got some new friends, some old friends, but basically just funny guys who could improv. I put together for this 20-minute short, and it came out fantastic. And we're gonna release it on the DVD the same day as the re-release of the CD/DVD, The Harmful If Swallowed.
Cool. I heard Comedy Central might also air the 8 Guys special.
Nope.
Oh, they're not gonna?
That's completely independent.
Oh, okay, cool.
That'll be exclusively through DaneCook.com.
Oh, okay, awesome. And I heard that also the movie did really well at the Boston Film Fest.
Yeah, that was the first place we showed it. The first crowd of people who had seen it other than, me and an editor.
Awesome, man.
So to finally see it outside of a room with, 2 or 3 people, we showed it to about 150 people and got a great response. And, I think people just really picked up on the energy that we all put into it and, kind of the excitement. And so now what I'm hoping to do is, this fall, I'm looking at, producing and directing a full-length feature that I've been writing now, and that's going to be a comedy as well. Hopefully I'll have a bunch of those guys back in there.
Cool. Yeah, like have your own set of actors, like what Spike Lee does.
Yeah, I think that, I think it, especially in the entertainment industry, it's like if you can build a group of guys, if you can find a stable of people that are talented and kick ass and are gonna make it, whether you help them or use them or not, guys that are gonna make it,
right,
fight. But if you can assemble that group, then that's pretty powerful.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully you get that, team of guys together and you say, you know what, I'll help you when you get that.